Good morning, dear friends. This year, especially, we are celebrating dear Babuji's 125th birth anniversary. I would like to see that it be celebrated every day. How to remain grateful to such a personality who has given this gift of meditation to all of us. I'd like to devote next 52 weeks celebrating his life. In each year we have 52 weeks. So we need to somehow delve into 52 qualities. If you like, you can participate with this being heartful every day and register yourself. Someone will guide you through. Each week there will be emphasis on one particular quality. For example, generosity, what it means to be generous. Not with only our resources, but how we use our time and how we share our time generously with others. Qualities like compassion, how to remain effective, how to remain reverential, how to extend empathy, kindness, all these qualities. So kindly register yourself with Being Grateful Every Day on our website and follow this curriculum. Also, they will offer the specific time meditation all across the globe. So with this emphasis, we will be able to also regularize, we become habitual, kind of creating automatism with our practice, kind of biological clock that we can establish with our time and practice. Once you kick in with this habit of meditating at a specific time with everybody else, while remaining at home, we created some sort of a habit. And as Babuji puts it, we are able to create a biological clock within ourselves, and at a specific time, something gets triggered in our physiological system. And that creates automatism. Automatism also means to me how automatically we can go into a certain level of consciousness at will. Not only at a specified time, but any other time also we are able to recall the meditative state wherever we are, whenever we want it, and hopefully make it a permanent feature. Once we get used to a certain level of consciousness in our day-to-day life, we can swing back and forth on this spectrum of consciousness. And in order to play with this spectrum of consciousness, I have to at least start practicing holding on to one level of consciousness, play with it, intentionally lose it, and try to regain it. Then go to the next level of consciousness, then the next. So you have to go up and down with will and see what happens. You can really make it a game, a playful act of consciousness. So with these few words, I encourage you all to please enroll yourself with this being grateful for every day or being heartful every day.
Good morning, Daaji.
Good morning.
Always such a pleasure to be in your
Thank you.
I was going to say company, I don't know how to describe it, but being in your aura. Can I describe it like that? Yeah. So you mentioned consciousness today. Let's talk about consciousness. I was just thinking yesterday, science cannot describe consciousness. It's tried very hard. How would you describe it?
To me, consciousness simply defined is as degree of awareness, degree of perception. By that, it also means degree of unawareness.
Yeah.
Simply put, consciousness is awareness, perception.
Here's, does consciousness actually, is it also a mind game or is it beyond the mind?
It is beyond the mind. For example, trees, plants, rocks, minerals, sky, water, all this. Do they have minds? I wonder. Yet they have some level of consciousness, frequencies, right? Iron ore and magnet, how they are attracted towards each other. They, they must have perceived something to be attracted.
Yes.
So perception is always there.
Yeah.
We have recently measured the frequencies of electromagnetic field created by various plants, various trees. This was done this is going on, being done worldwide. It's a project implemented by HeartMath Solution from California under the guidance of Dr. Donna Chidre, where he measures the awareness frequencies of various plants and trees. And I was so surprised to see one of our tree at Gokul Point in Kanha ashram compared to other trees, even from the rainforest. It emits a frequency that mimics the PQRST curve of our cardiogram. And this PQRST like wave produced by this tree, it's called, many of you are familiar, it's called people tree. Ficus religiosa, the Latin name. And why certain individuals, they worship this tree. They are encouraged to worship this tree. Who knows why? But our ancients must have felt something with this tree. Now science also talks about it. Babuji was instructed by some saint, I don't recollect who it was, but he has written it, expressed this dialogue in his autobiography. He says people with anger problems, they can sleep. I can invite you to sleep under that tree.
Yes.
And people do highly benefit by sleeping under such trees where the frequency that matches our heart resonance, it automatically adjusts, it fine tunes with that. So automatically the tendency to get angry is also reduced somehow. Kapoor sahab, we are so humble. I don't think anyone escapes anger bouts from their life. Everyone is succumb to it.
Daaji, trees have consciousness, leaves have consciousness. Our environment is part of this, can I call it universal consciousness?
Yes, sir.
So the consciousness did not arise with the human mind. The mind arose within consciousness. Would it be okay to say that?
Yes, sir. Mind is an instrument using senses, perceives things.
So let's go further back because you mentioned history. Let's see what history really is. So was there consciousness before the Big Bang?
Consciousness was always there. What we call Adi Shakti. But who was there to perceive it before the creation? It's like, the gentleman, German philosopher, he describes when a tree falls in a forest, where no one is present. Who would listen to the sound and will there be sound?
Yeah.
Likewise, the consciousness was already there. Adi Shakti was already there. Original, what we call Adi Shakti, was always present. There was no one to perceive it. And when there was nobody to perceive it, how can you say it was there or not there? Adi Shakti is also worshipped in the form of Mother Durga, for example. And that's why they have given the form almost like black, absolutely black. Why? Because before Big Bang, before the creation, what could have been there? Before creation means no galaxies, no stars, no planets, means no light. So there was infinite darkness within darkness, as Lalaji also describes that. What was there before the creation? Darkness veiled within darkness. And after the Big Bang, all this thing happened. And light is also a restricted phenomena. For example, how far this light can reach.
Yeah.
Or even that of sun. It reduces as it travels the distances.
I was imagining, yesterday I was imagining a child asking a scientist the question saying, what existed before the Big Bang? Because our scientific assessment of time only starts with the Big Bang. And the scientist said nothingness. And that child is still searching for nothingness. What is it? What would that nothingness mean?
Darkness to me.
Sorry?
Darkness.
Darkness,
There was
nothingness.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Only Adi Shakti, you can say, the potential for creation in a very seed form. What we call in science today singularity. Everything was collapsed into something very little. And when that was disturbed, created this enormous universe.
But nothingness still exists.
Yes.
Is that where creativity lies? I'm a creative person, so I keep asking that question. Am I okay? So let's change this. What is the creative act? Does it lie within our brains, or is the creative act something that we access from this idea that you put forward of nothingness or Shiva or whatever?
We have to understand a little bit on the aspect of preoccupied mind or the conditioned mind, or as we put it in Sahajmar, heartfulness way, that the mind that carries its own conditioning because of samskaras, because of tendencies, it will never make you creative. It will make you creative only to the extent with how free you are from being conditioned. There is no free flow whenever we are conditioned. The extreme conditions that we are engulfed with, is one of the factor is anger. Can you be creative under the spell of anger? You can't. Mind has to be absolutely empty. Right? Only then it can perceive things better from everywhere. To be creative, you need an empty mind.
There's a reason I'm smiling because the number of people who've come to me and said, Shekhar, please start a creative school, please start a film school. I have a name for it. It's a school of emptiness.
Emptiness.
Nobody will come, Daaji. Nobody will enroll. Nobody will send their kids to me.
That is true. We have to agree. Names like School of Creativity and teach them emptiness.
Yeah. So let's pursue this because I've thought about this a lot. And all my creative friends who are composers and writers, we talk a lot about this. Is like, I know A.R. Rahman very well. I'm sure most people have heard of his name. And we work together a lot. And every time he's stuck, he says, I'm going to the toilet. And he'll go away for about 20 minutes and he'll come back and he'll play a perfectly beautiful harmony and tune. So I know he didn't go to the toilet. He went to say his namaz. Somewhere he goes back to the source. That source he doesn't understand. He only knows it as faith. And so faith is nothingness, right? As you were
Tapping
saying.
into nothingness.
So faith is the idea of nothingness turned into something that we have that is actually sometimes becomes a big issue is language.
See, intention has to be there. Intention plays, for example, if I want to create music or I want to solve Sudoku or I'm stuck with a game, chess game. Don't break your head over it in trying to solve Sudoku. Give yourself a time, go for a little walk. Be more relaxed and centered. This centering helps solving the riddles, solving the puzzles. And as soon as you come and look at your Sudoku or your chess game, your next move will be better because you were stuck there before. This little time gap, the pause that you had helped you regain your creativity.
Or nothingness.
Centering.
Centeredness.
People get scared when you say you're tapping into nothingness or you're tapping into void.
No.
Yeah.
If they go, Shekhar, what are you doing? Nothing. What are you doing? I say, well, we're doing something. And I said, well, what describes as something? And then when I hear what they're doing, I said, isn't that what you don't want to do? Right? So I'm happy doing nothing. Daaji, the other word that comes out a lot, I see it in your presence. We talk about it is humility. Can you talk to us about the force of humility?
Can you fake it?
Can I fake it? No, I cannot. No.
So it is your nature when you have surrendered everything to existence. This is automatic result, I think.
Okay.
And certain principles with which you are in awe when you listen to certain principles of your masters and you try to cultivate them. Like when he expresses himself, what are you in this creation? Nothing but a dust. Not even a dust, I would say.
Not even, yes.
When you see the grand expansion of the universe, when even the earth is not even a dust in this what am I then? And to remember certain principles of great people, like my master who says, Shekhar Saab, there is nothing wrong in thinking yourself to be great. Go ahead. But Shekhar Saab must develop this attitude, he would say, that other person is greater. So that puts you back to where you are, see. And honoring the other person. But today, in the corporate world, a And unfortunately, even in the spiritual realm, even in spiritual organizations like ours, when we share work with each other, and there are differences of opinions. And unfortunately, meditative minds are so sharp, they try to outwin the other person. So sometimes the arguments are so terse and ego driven because the mind has become so sharp because you meditate. So the weapons from both sides or from all sides will be very sharp and will hurt a lot of people. So you see sometimes the organizations in spiritual organizations especially, they look very lethal, and they can hurt each other very well.
Yeah.
You wish you were just ordinary at that time.
Number of times I wish that. It's a very difficult, for my ego, it's very difficult to accept. The idea of ordinariness is tough.
Why not?
Your question is completely right. Why not? And that's my question to myself. What's wrong with being, and what makes you think you're not ordinary? It's only, the extraordinariness only comes from thought. Otherwise,
Or your attitude.
yeah.
And moment you think that I'm extraordinary, spiritually speaking also, or even materially, imagine a boss in a company who thinks himself to be extraordinary, remains arrogant. What happens to the productivity of employees? It will be greatly reduced. But imagine a boss who works hand in glove, hand in hand with the employees, working with them, eating with them, having discussions with them, food with them. Productivity skyrockets. In the spiritual realm, if I think I'm greater, I'm building the wall of greatness around. And then I isolate myself from rest of the godly kingdom. I become a loner then.
Daaji, I'm going to ask you one more question that I'm sure everybody here has a question for you. So if I may take one. Because I'm Indian, I dress Indian and I travel the world and people say, are you Indian? I say, yeah. Say, you're Hindu? I said, yeah. So the question always is, where do I go after I die? I just said, I haven't experienced that yet. I can't answer that question. But I'll ask a question in return. Where were you before you were born? It's exactly where you go after you die. But that's just a clever answer. Is there something like this? Give me a better answer that I can tell them because they might think that I'm a great man. So, like that.
Well, nature identifies very well the whole scheme. If you think the whole thing is consciousness, and there is a spectrum of consciousness. Your consciousness, you carry a certain level of spectrum. I carry a certain level of spectrum which is dynamic. Yours is also dynamic, keeps changing all the time. When iron foils are attracted towards the magnet, this simply gets connected. No one has to push it. So what happens at the moment of death, like the iron foils, they get attracted towards the magnet automatically. Likewise, my heart, my soul, especially my soul, with a certain frequency, certain level of attraction, will reach out to that dimension like lock and key fits in so well, it will go only there. It can go only there. nowhere else. So depending upon the lightness of my soul or the heaviness of my soul, it will reach to that dimension. Lightness of the soul means the higher realms it will reach to. Heaviness of the soul cannot go much higher. It will remain at the lower dimensions. No one comes to take you. It just goes out and settles there. There's no hell or heaven.
You know, in Buddhism, there's this big idea of mukti, that you get to a stage where when you die, you don't have to come back. I kind of question that because I'm constantly falling in love. I'm
With
saying,
what?
I like my life. I want to come back.
So it's all right.
It's all right, no? I want to come back. Start falling in love again. Okay. I'm sure there are questions that are deeper for you. And I'm sure there's one question that'll come up is, if like there are maybe a few hundred people here and they're all meditating, one person's meditation does affect the world, does affect the consciousness of the world. Is that true? Possible?
Yes, but it's a drop in the ocean.
That proverbial drop in the... Daaji and I got together because of the ocean. Okay, may I ask them? You can ask the questions through me, may I?
Please, please.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Today, he's sitting outside 40 minutes. I never get. I always maximum of 25. And for last 2 years, I've been getting because of that. So the question which you asked, what is after that? And you talk about consciousness. What I gather from my limited understanding is that we all are part of the same consciousness, supreme consciousness. And depending on the level of the soul aim is to merge with them. I get a lot of things, and I'm still not able to figure out if we are part of the same consciousness. Somebody whom I feel that is not in sync with you, I am not in sync with him or her. How should I tell my mind, always in the back of the mind we are together, that what he or she feels is also right and what I am also doing right? How should I remove that question? I'm not sure even if I'm able to articulate my question properly.
No, we live these moments every day. So,
So this, and I know, Shekhar, to be very frank, I believe you love your life, and I feel that I don't want to come. So I would love to.
I'll miss you.
I miss you too. So that bothers me sometimes. Sometimes I'm okay.
I'm like Kapoor Sahab, Shekharji. What is wrong in coming back when I have parents of a high caliber, when I have the master of a great caliber? What will I do up there anyway? The whole existence is all about love. Most sannyasis and ascetic people, priests especially, they say become renunciate and live this life. Nothing wrong with it. But there is a limitation. Yesterday I was reading somewhere, I don't know who said it also. What is wrong? God occupies every nook and corner of this universe. Why do you want to escape it? He is not escaping. Why do you want to escape it? Learn to live wisely, meaningfully, purposefully. Love your parents more than you did them yesterday. Love your friends. Don't try to adjust or tolerate others. Tell your wife, I tolerate you, my honey. Here they have the Ministry of Tolerance. It's a horrible word, actually. Ministry of Tolerance. Let there be Ministry of Acceptance. Accepting. Even if this world is bitter, learn to accept it and strengthen yourself, how well you can accept even the worst.
Can I ask some question? I'm sorry, I don't want to be argumentative.
I think you might have to give somebody else a chance. I see a lot of hands.
And this one, if everything is same, why should I get bothered by the word comrade and be okay with it? If everything is underlying is complete future. So if this one, when I see somebody feel okay, why should I even get bothered with somebody? Why should I have this feeling that opposition is?
Well, all these questions of acceptance and all that would not have come at all unless you were challenged. When it is natural within you, the question of acceptance will also not come. Forget tolerance. Nothing will come. It will be as natural as you are breathing. You are arguing with someone, it will be as natural, without any hatred, right? Without any dislike. Because this question of arguments and friction comes because you don't like it in the first place. Start liking it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Miko,
Thank you. Thank you, Daaji. Thank you very much.
thank you.